This is practice exercise 7.2, creating an innovative 360 board. For this activity, I was asked to examine a learning environment for a workplace management training program that was designed several years ago. And over the past 6 months, performance at the end of the course certification of this project has begun to decline, though there's been no substantial changes to the actual learning environment model. So for this activity, I was asked to use the Innovate 360 board to evaluate that learning environment, both the existing model in addition to feedback sources that were provided. So as you can see on the Innovate 360 board here at the top, the feedback sources were a Qualtrics questionnaire, which was actually a student course evaluation that was provided. And there was a wealth of information regarding the students' perceptions of their experience regarding the learning environment. And most of them correlated definitely with the design model that currently exists, which you can see listed below under design model. So for weaknesses, in the weaknesses section, we discovered that students expressed a desire to successfully demonstrate their knowledge, and they weren't being provided an opportunity to do that effectively. Students also felt that the formats of the information didn't support their learning regarding whether it was on demand, live, or even experiential. Students indicated that they were unsure what they were supposed to be doing at all times during the learning process. And I've included a couple of those blocks from the design model as to where they might be correlated in the learning experience. Focusing on strengths, students were aware of the learning goals of the course, and they did feel that they could engage in meaningful dialogue with not only their peers but with their facilitator. And they did feel like the facilitator did a good job at guiding their learning through the experience. So when we take in consideration both of those categories and we look at opportunities for innovating the board and making some advancements, I made a few just small minor recommendations. I think there could be many as moving forward on the new program, but the first one that I've put in there is focusing on that feedback that's provided by peers and instructors, and looking at a way to make that focused on the actual learning outcome or the experience. So I know it might be a little hard to read, but in that learning block, instead of having the discussion feedback occur in a large group setting, actually have it occur in a small group setting post any of those discussions. So we would build that into the learning model so students would have a more intimate experience in the conversation with their peers and instructors to have a better feedback opportunity. And then next, I think it would be important to suggest adding a checklist for the course assignments and activities that are aligned to the learning goals for the class, so students have a clear understanding of those connections. And that could be offered in an information building block in an online or asynchronous format. Wouldn't have to happen in person in the class. And I think that's important because the students had expressed that the formats of information didn't really support their learning, so I'm not sure that they're really getting an opportunity to engage with content or information online post the class. So implementing something as simple as an online checklist, maybe in D2L or on a web page where the students could access it at a later time to kind of keep track of where they are in the course, either by month or date or module, or just by completion time. And then another thing that the students actually expressed in the Qualtrics questionnaire was in regards to the choice or autonomy of their actual student learning. Personalized learning, I think, was the specific question. So I think it might be important to give students a choice at different ways that they can engage with content and knowledge. And they mentioned experiential as an opportunity that they felt was a format that they weren't being provided. And as you can tell from the design model, there is no experiential opportunity. So maybe providing an experiential component around maybe an opportunity to practice what they've learned. In this specific case, it was about workplace conflict So maybe going into a workplace setting and doing some observations, taking some notes, and then actually reflecting on that and how they as a supervisor or a peer might improve those, or whatever's based on the content of information. Those are just a few of the suggested improvements to help innovate that course that I would make in recommendation in the beginning with my client. Thank you very much.